Hello everyone, welcome to the McDonald's Online Education Workshop. 亲爱的观众朋友们，大家好，欢迎来到2021年世界日报麦当劳线上教育研讨会。I'm your host for today. My name's Zhao Wang. 我是今天的主持人王早早。McDonald's Education Workshop is an important annual event in our community. We would like to say thank you to our partner McDonald's for continually supporting us throughout the hard times. Today's workshop is utterly important. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below in the comments section. 麦当劳教育研讨会呢是每年都会举办的活动，在这里我们要感谢麦当劳多年以来的支持，为华人社区提供最新的教育资讯，邀请教育专家为我们的华裔学生和家长答疑解惑。受到疫情的影响，教育政策、大学申请的各个方面也有着不小的变化。所以呢，如果今天您在听讲座的过程当中有任何的疑问，欢迎您在下方随时的留言和提问。Also, I would love to introduce APA Next. It's an all-new education program from McDonald's that aims to improve and lift Asian Pacific American students throughout their academic journey. The program consists of financial and personal development resources, providing education workshops, scholarships, and more. With the launch of the APA Next program, McDonald's is building on 14 years of providing and support resources to Asian Pacific American students. For more resources and content like today's workshop, please visit apanext.com. Besides the informative lectures, we also have sweepstakes today. We prepared 2 AirPods, 1 iPad, 50 McDonald's gift cards, and 15 subscription mental health wellness app Shine. And this is how it works. When you register for this event on Eventbrite, you will receive a confirmation email with your order number in it. After the workshop, we'll draw the lucky number and we will reach out to you. 今年呢，总共有3场研讨会，第2场将在9月25号，也就是下周六的同一时间举办。那另一场呢，在10月23号。每一场都将邀请到教育的专家、大学的招生官，与大家分享各种议题，希望大家千万不要错过哦。另外，我们每一次的活动结束之后呢，都有抽奖环节，我们会抽出2个 AirPods、1个 iPad、50张麦当劳礼卡，以及15名 Subscriptions for Health and Wellness App Shine。如果呢您在注册了 Eventbrite 的活动之后呢，看到了自己的 order number， 请您记住它。如果没有收到，请您继续注册，还有时间可以继续登录。中奖之后呢，我们的工作人员会主动联系您。接下来呢，要为大家正式介绍今天的活动流程。今天我们将邀请到3位常春藤名校的学生，同时也是2021年大纽约华人教育基金会的得奖学生。他们会分享他们在课堂之外的兴趣，以及对申请大学有什么帮助。Today we have the pleasure of having 3 Ivy League freshmen, also the recipients of Greater New York Chinese Dollars for Scholars, joining us and talking about their journey to the top-notch schools. 为大家介绍一下，他们分别是 Ronald Chong, the Yale University Computer Science, and then Georgia Chan, Georgetown University Political Science, and also the Rico Law from the Cornell University and Pre-Med. 接下来呢，我们将有请3位精英学子一同加入我们的讨论。Now let's welcome 3 of them to join us for the panel discussion.
Hi guys, can you wave to me? Can you see me? Hi. All right, if you can see me and please smile at me and say something. Can you at least say hi?
Hi.
Hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And yes, we're at the panel discussion. 好，首先欢迎我们的3位优秀的精英学子来到我们的讨论的环节。那么今天呢，我们将要对3位进行一个提问。So, who's ready for some questions? I guess you are, right? So the first question, how to build interests beyond the classroom walls? And then we actually want every single one of you to answer. Why don't we start with the only boy in the room?
Hi. So I think the first thing you can do is actually look within your classroom. Teachers are amazing resources for sort of understanding and developing your interests. You can contact them through email, see them during remedial or office hours, or even take a few minutes after class to ask them questions. I did this a lot with my AP World History, AP Lang, and research teachers. And as a result, I developed an interest in sociology and history. I got great advice on how to develop my English and writing skills, and learned how to conduct research outside of school. they want what's best for you, and they'll point you towards stuff like contests, events, extracurricular activities that you may otherwise miss. And aside from your teachers, you can also, talk to the people next to you and find out what they plan to do after school or over the summer. Frequently, I'd be like, what are you doing this summer? Or are you doing anything after, ninth period, which was the end of the day? And I'd just tag along for a club or something like that. But understandably, if you are not comfortable speaking with other people, or you feel awkward doing that, you can just look towards the internet. You can use Google to get a grasp on topics you may be interested in. You can find tons of free resources. I know that MOOCs were really helpful to me, which are massive open online courses. And I learned how to code from there and how to do some art and stuff like that. And yeah, just in that sense, just make sure you use the resources around you and get comfortable with doing that.
That's right. Thank you. There's a lot of resources, and thank you very much. What about Georgia? Can you share something with us?
Yeah, I would say that I do agree that, using, from the classroom, when I was in bio, I kind of learned about environmental things, which is why I wanted to start up my own, online boutique thing where I would, sell secondhand, things like that. And then, so that I guess I would say I got from school, from working in my classrooms. But then I would say the most important thing for me was trying things that I was really interested in. So I'm inherently interested in nature, and as a child I collected rocks and acorns and things like that. So I would try the nature clubs at my nature clubs, and outside of my school, so Friends of Rand Park Club, where we planted and helped food insecurity in our town and stuff like that. And then I was also really into space and astronomy and mythology and stuff like that. So I've tried the astronomy clubs and things like that. I think that trying things that you're really personally interested in would help you engage in other things around the community that's outside of your school.
That's great. Thank you. Do a soul searching, right? Know who you are, what are you really like, and then pursue that. That's great. Thank you for the suggestion. And what about Rico? Can you say something?
Yes, I totally agree with Georgia and Ronald. And yeah, finding yourself is very important. And that's why I kind of have a different take on how to build your interest beyond the classroom walls. I kind of built my own interests with a personal goal in mind. For instance, I have a skin disease called cutaneous mastocytosis. So it's something that has really affected my self-perception, and it's something I'm still navigating to today. And so I take the chance to go outside more often and not just stay within the school community. And that not only helps me build my interpersonal skills, which is how you communicate with other people, but it just helps for myself. It helps me embrace my self-identity and challenge society's perception of the ideal body image, which is really harmful to youth today. And it refines how you talk to other people and how you bring yourself to the audience.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And my next question is actually build up on what you just said. Well, how have those interests actually impact your college application? And did that help at all?
So when I was accepted into Yale, my admissions officer actually personally gave me a call, told me how interesting my essays were, because I talked about my interest in a field called computational social science and computational sociology, which is where you use computational tools to understand human behavior through data mining on the internet. And so by having these ideas and a really clear path of what I wanted to do, because I did so much exploring, I did so much learning outside of the classroom, I think that really made it clear to admissions officers who I was and what I wanted to do. And in a sense, they were like, this is cool, and I want this person at the school.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. That's very inspiring. Yes, always go with what you're really interested in, and then if you can go to competitions, prove yourself, that's even better. Yes. And Georgia, a few words?
Yeah, I would say that helped me make connections with other people, with my peers, and then also adults who sort of like mentored me and provided me opportunities and just advice in general. I mean, also my fencing coach ended up writing me a supplemental letter of recommendation. But I think most importantly, I was able to build these extracurriculars kind of gave me these communities of people and like great fun memories. And not only did I enjoy my time and like I had such an amazing time in high school, but it also gave me a lot of material, I guess, to write on, because there are a lot of supplemental essays for college, and I could write about all my great experiences and all these different communities and different interests that I had.
That's right. And I noticed it's very different. For Ronald, he's all about this, I wouldn't say academia stuff, but it's all in all, he loves study, right? Competitions talk about. But you started your boutique. You would talk more with your customers, and interpersonal communication is so different, but yet so interesting. And what about Rico?
Yeah, so my parents' efforts did not really understand why I was spending so much time out of school doing these interests, joining these clubs, and doing community service. But the way I explained to them is the way I'm going to explain it right now. And these interests will help you refine what you want to study in college. If you're an undecided major and you pursue all these interests beforehand, you'll most likely land on a passion or a decision that you've come to yourself that, wow, I really like studying this, and this major at my school really aligns with those interests, those goals I have in mind for myself, for my community. And similarly, like Ronald and Georgia, we all have instances where like it actually really did come in handy. And for instance, I conducted biomedical research outside of my school on the impact on COVID-19 on adolescents' mental health, and doing community service and observing outside and just putting myself out there. It really allowed me to understand the public health of communities and not just a single individual. And that's why right now I'm studying human biology, health, and society at Cornell. Just really observing how public health impacts not only communities, but individuals and the world in general.
Great. Thank you. Yes, I love that you mentioned community service, because we need that. We care about the community and we learn things along the way. Thank you very much. And then we're going to move on to the next question. The next question is how to find and make time for interest or passion. And I want to direct that question to Georgia. Can you answer that question?
Yeah, of course. This was something, time management was definitely important to me, because I was a dancer and a fencer, and they were both winter sports at my high school. So during the winter, it was super packed, super, busy on midterms, on fencing, dancing, and something that I did was that when I knew I had a busy schedule, I tended to do homework like during lunch, and I went to my teacher's office hours, and I found that I could be more productive when I knew that I was on a schedule, when I knew that there were things to be accomplished, and like, especially because I really enjoyed my extracurriculars, I told myself, I was like, well, I need to finish my homework, I need to finish all my studying before I go to those, which I know I'll really enjoy. I think kind of using them as an incentive, using your interest, passion, so being genuinely interested in them, act as an incentive for you to really get your work done.
Great. And just a little question on the side. Do you use social media like at all? Like it still sounds like you spend all the time on working and studying.
No, I use social media. I think I don't like use it that often. I don't find it particularly important. I would rather, if I have extra time, rather than spending it in person with other people, because social media is fun, but it's like it's not reflective of the real life and things like that. But
Great, thank you for sharing. Yeah, that's right. I love interpersonal communication more. Yes, I agree with you. Thank you. All right, the next question. I think the question is for Ronald. All right. Helpful tips to help people to pursue their interests and passions, because way too often the parents is like, oh, the only thing my kid's interested in is playing video games. Look at those videos on the TikTok. I tell them to find something, but they're like, I just in general don't interested in anything. So how can we help them? Some tips?
Who you're surrounding yourself with, in terms of like, are you surrounding yourself with people that play video games all day and that's usually what they like doing? what's going to end up happening is you're going to probably be more pressured to partake in those activities. So just try to find people that have the interests that you have instead of just looking for, just hanging out with anyone that's available. And you can do that, through clubs and activities and organizations. And then secondly, just understand that, like, if you pursue an interest or a passion, it's never going to be perfect. I think that a lot of people believe in this idea that I can, like, if I don't get into it instantly, maybe it's not worth going at it. But in reality, like, getting into anything, whether it's, environmental science or like art or coding, it's all slow progress, and it takes a lot of time and consistency. And so in that vein, I guess just really got to be patient, and parents too, like, be patient with your kids if it seems like they're, having trouble getting onto this kind of stuff, because not every kid's gonna be exposed to this stuff or, like, find an interest in that stuff. And then secondly, it's important to, like, set goals for yourself. I find that if you don't have something in mind, I think Georgia mentioned this before about, having a schedule or something to look forward to. I think that's super important, because when you don't have anything to look forward to and you have nothing scheduled, a lot of us do default to just going on TikTok or, going on doing stuff that, might be instantly gratifying, but not really helping us in the long run or making us happy in the long run.
That's right. Thank you. But one little question on the side, like, many of the kids, they have a schedule. They just don't stick to the schedule. What should we do? Throw the cell phone out, or like plug out the computer? Like, what should we do? Like, if you can't really stick to that.
So I used to do this trick. I have two tricks that I used to use when I was in high school, and I felt like I really wanted to go on my phone. I really wanted to do this, do something else besides work or go to this thing. I would just set a timer for maybe like 5 minutes, and I tell myself, I'll give myself 5 minutes, I'll get started on this, and then at the end of the timer, I can quit if I want to. And what I found that every time I set the timer for 5 minutes, I'd get into it and I just keep going. I think the hardest part is just getting started, and giving you that sort of mental trick of 5 minutes only will actually push you to start and get it done. Sometimes though, I'll be like starting it and I'm like, wait, I'm not focused at all. I don't really know what's going on. I'm having trouble reading or, completing these questions or, not focusing. Sounds kind of silly, but I would just like look at my hand and I'd open and close it for like 5 minutes. I'd set a timer and just stare at my hand. And I find that by focusing on my hand, I get so bored that I'm like, I just want to do something else and look at like my study material or, do literally anything else but stare at my fists. So yeah, those are my,
I'm looking at my hands now.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Thank you. That's a very useful trick. I love that. I'll try that tonight. All right. Thank you, Ron. And the last question, we want to direct that to Rico, of course. The question is like this. What are the benefits of learning outside the classroom walls?
Learning inside classroom, learning outside the classroom is totally two different realms of learning. Outside the classroom, there are no hard deadlines. There are no assignments you have to finish to get graded at the end of the day. So it's really about your effort and what you put into it and how much you're willing to learn and absorb from the activity. So there's a lot of benefits from learning outside. First off, it's hands-on experience. That's not something you can get from school. You can't participate in community service and learn about the community while staying in school and the classroom and reading a textbook. That's just nothing you can replicate. And you have real world situations outside the classrooms, and you have real pressure on you. You have real expectations. You have responsibilities that you have to obtain and uphold. And that's something that makes you more mature, and it puts pressure on you, a good kind of pressure for you to do your work properly and to also benefit off of it by learning from the situation. And I think this is like the 50th time I've said this, but it really helps you refine your interpersonal skills. For example, if I never did community service and I never brought myself out there to talk to random strangers and thank them for their time and stuff, I would not be able to talk to Georgia and Ronald and be on this panelist right now. So it's something that's really crucial and something you need to explore outside of the classroom. And that connects to public speaking skills. I know some schools have public speaking classes, but speaking in front of the classmates that you see every day, every time you go to school, is not the same as speaking to random people or an audience of like 500 people. So it's definitely something you can try doing outside. And of course, if there's situations that you feel uncomfortable with, it's something you can work through slowly. And every time you could bring it up a notch and you could add, talk to more people, try different things, try different techniques. You can always try to talk to someone about it.
Yeah, that's right. I think once on the subway, I heard a gentleman sharing his love for the football team. And I think that's actually a very good practice. He was really brave. I would encourage more students to go out and do that. All right, a little question for Rico to add on. It's COVID. It's not like before, right? Before you can just go to church, maybe do some work. You can go to community centers, maybe do some work. But it's COVID. Practically everything's shut down, especially for the younger ones. They're not vaccinated. What do you suggest them to do?
Well, look at what we're doing right now. Right now we're on a Zoom with you guys, and I'm still talking to you. And, you know, you might not believe it, but my heart is beating insanely fast right now because I'm not sure if I'm answering these questions correctly or if I'm giving the best responses. But that's all part of public speaking skills. That's something you have to adapt over time. You have to admit that you will get nervous at some points, but you have to go with the flow. And, you know, my best recommendation is to go and look for opportunities that are online because I feel like that will be safer, especially for unvaccinated youth. And try to do activities that are online. I know there are a lot of free internships and summer research that are online this year, and it's that mainly goes on for looking through scientific journals and making essays about it. So that's something you could definitely do online. But I really don't think that hands-on experience is limited to only the physical outside. You could always try doing inside activities online and just try to make the best of it. I know this situation is really hard, and COVID-19 is not something we're used to yet, even though it has been a year and a half. But it's definitely something we should try to get over no matter what.
That's right. You're right. There's always something out there. Like Ronald once mentioned, right? There's a lot of resources on the internet. You can just go to the Google, find something, right? It's just how the perspectives. How do you look at things? Thank you. Thank you all. And I think we have a little bit extra time. We got a bonus question. All right. I get that question a lot, actually. The parents are actually very, very confused. Like, when should my kid start to take on an interest? Like, should we start at 3 years old? Should I send my kid to this competition, that competition? Should we send him to this class, like, when should we get started? And actually, I think that question is for all three of you guys. Can we start from Ronald?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I would say that, you know, even though it might be like, you don't have to develop like one interest and then keep going with it for the rest of your life. I think that's a bad way to think about things. More so, you want to listen to your kid and just understand that forcing anyone, including your child, to do something that they don't want to do is not going to work out very well in the end. By taking a note and just talking with your kid. I know my parents talked with me a lot about what my interests were, and they changed around like very, very frequently. You know, up until junior year, I thought I wanted to be a humanities major and I wanted to study like art history and do art. And then junior year, I just changed it up and I was like, okay, I want to do computer science instead. Just respond to these changes and just try to be enthusiastic and accept that your child is their own person and that they can take on whatever interests that they would like to. And if you support them, they will do great things with those interests.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Georgia?
Yeah, I think in terms of, I think I agree with Ronald, and like in terms of academics, I think that kids get a lot of exposure to a lot of different topics in school. I don't think that's something that parents should worry about kids finding their interest, because I think that there's a lot of opportunities to do that. For extracurriculars, I think that it's really important for kids to get kind of a sample of a lot of things. Like, for example, when I was growing up, I've done like soccer, softball, swimming, basketball, dance. You know, I tried a bunch of different things because you never really know what your kid's going to respond to, what's going to bring the biggest smile to their face, I would say, you know. And I think that there's no need to kind of push your kid to be the best at age 7 or something. You know, I think that there's a good time to play, and you know, a lot of people want their kids to be very talented at a young age. It's not everyone can be, and that is just totally fine, because it's really about enjoying yourself. And I do definitely want to caution taking on activities for the sake of college, because I think that it's so important to do things that you're genuinely interested in. Not only that, because it'll make you happier, but because you'll be able to dedicate more time to it and, excel at it because you enjoy it more. I think that it's important to try things, and not get stuck on one thing that you think will be best for college.
That's right. Agree. Like, even though you bought a piano for a kid and then after 2 months she wants to quit, you gotta let her quit. Right.
Yeah.
There's no point for like forcing your kids to sit in front of that expensive piano and just cry. Yeah. Thank you. I agree. Yes. Rico?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Georgia. I feel like Asian parents, they definitely put an extreme emphasis on academics and how well you perform in school. But that's definitely not the case anymore. In the college application, there is literally a section called like interests, passions, and activities, extracurriculars, and activities beyond the classroom. And you should take that as an initiative to really explore what you want to do and what you think you may have an interest in. It doesn't have to be definite. It could just be, wow, let me try that, or let me dabble in that. Let me see if it's right for me. And if you find yourself groaning about it or saying, oh man, I have to do that on Saturday, or like, oh, I really don't want to do it, then maybe it's not the right interest or passion for you. You shouldn't feel forced to do an activity on your own time or to pursue a passion or interest. If it feels like a task or an assignment or like something that is mandated for you to do, then I don't think it's right for you. And that's why I really think that interests come with time, and it comes with your own self-initiative to pursue them. And don't take your parents' word for it. Your parents aren't you. If your parents say, oh yeah, you look like the type to really enjoy piano, don't be like, oh yeah, let me try piano. Don't. It's okay. Like, it's okay if you like guitar. It's totally okay to like something else that your parents don't like. Don't feel pressure to do anything that you don't want to do. That's all I'm trying to say.
That's right. Thank you. Like, even if you're interested to make outfits for Barbie dolls, like that's something, right? Like, maybe you can put that in your college application as well. It's just, all that matters is how you phrase it, how you put that into your college application. Thank you. I love the answers. Thank you very much. 谢谢你们三位回答的太棒了. Thank you. I think it's a really thought-provoking process of talking to three of you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you. We enjoyed every second of this. Thank you.
好的，谢谢三位学生的精彩分享。确实啊，课外活动对于高中的生活是非常非常重要的。Thank you for the sharing. Now is the time for our sweepstake today, and we prepared 2 AirPods, 1 iPad, 15 gift cards, and 15 subscriptions for the app Shine. And again, this is how it works, all right? If you have registered for our online workshop through Eventbrite, now you have an email confirmation number. Use that number as your sweepstake number, and if you are the lucky one, we will contact you. 好，那么接下来呢，就到了我们的抽奖环节啦。我们今天呢准备的好礼有我们的 AirPod， 还有 iPad 以及麦当劳的礼卡，同时呢还有15份的我们的 App Shine 的使用权限。那么如果呢您是我们今天的幸运观众的话，我们的工作人员会在之后联系您。我们的中奖号码呢就是您当时在 Eventbrite 上注册时候的那个订单号，只要按照那个订单号就能够得到我们的联系。好，希望大家都能够幸运中大奖哦。Good luck to everybody. If you learned something helpful from today's online workshop, you don't want to miss our next one. We will invite more experts and professionals to our second McDonald's Education Online Workshop. For more detailed information, please check our official website. And the recording of today's workshop will be on the World Journal's official YouTube channel. And you can review or forward it to your friends, family at any time. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for updates and our future events. APA Next is an all-new education program from McDonald's that aims to empower and uplift Asian Pacific American students through their academic journey. The program consists of financial and personal development resources and providing education workshops, scholarships, and more. With the launch of the APA Next program, McDonald's is building on 14 years of providing support and resources to Asian Pacific American students. For more resources and content like today's workshop, please visit apanext.com. 好的，2021年的第一场麦当劳教育线上研讨会到此就要告一段落了。如果大家很喜欢今天的教育研讨会，那更不要错过我们下周六的第2场麦当劳教育研讨会。到时呢，我们将请到各大的招生官 Dr. Norman 为大家分享申请大学的秘籍。更多信息请关注世界日报的官方消息发布。同时呢，我们这一场研讨会的全程录影会放在世界日报的官方 YouTube 频道上，方便大家随时回看或者是转发。也别忘记关注和订阅我们哦。在这里呢，我们要再一次感谢麦当劳对本次活动的大力支持，也更要感谢今天几位优秀学子的分享，以及线上各位观众朋友们的关注和支持。All right, see you next Saturday， 亲爱的朋友们，我们下周再见啦，拜。